Well, hello again everyone. I've been somewhat busy lately, so this is rather late, but let's get into our update video for July 2023. Well, of course, having invested so much in the new van, we've been trying to make as much as we possibly can out of it, use it as often as we can get away. Which has meant almost every weekend really throughout the last month or so. We've had some great little trips, and there's been a video for each one, so don't forget to go back and check those out if you haven't already done so. And yeah, we're absolutely loving the new van. It's really comfortable, really easy to use, nice to drive, all that sort of thing. So yeah, really pleased with the new van, and absolutely loving making the most of it that we possibly can throughout the summer. I'm continuing to use the Triumph Street Triple as a daily commuting bike, and it's absolutely fantastic to put on my road skin clothing, my AAA Taranis jeans and my road skin armoured hoodie, and yeah, whiz backwards and forwards to work on the bike. And don't forget to grab yourself a 10% discount on road skin clothing using our affiliate link code, which will be in the description below. And yeah, absolutely loving having the Triumph to go backwards and forwards to work on. Have had a little bit of a starting issue with it lately. Very intermittent, only happens very occasionally. I haven't quite got to the bottom of it yet, but yeah, watch this space to see if we manage to solve that or not. Although yeah, it seems good at the moment. I've had it checked out by M&M Motorcycles and they couldn't find anything wrong at all. So yeah, a bit of a weird one, but it's only happened twice and a good distance apart. So I'm hoping something's been tightened up or wiggled or something like that and it's now good, but time will tell. Now, you may be wondering why you haven't seen much of the Suzuki Intruder lately, and unfortunately I've got another issue with the brakes on that. Yeah, this time they're sticking on a little bit, so I've got to get to the bottom of that. I've got to solve that. I've got a few ideas what it might be. I think I'm going to end up rebuilding the master cylinder on it, so that's another little job that's coming up soon, but I'm desperate to get that back on the road and get riding that before the horrible winter weather sets in, because I think that's going to be a summertime good weather only bike, that one. But yeah, got to get back onto that soon. Now Nikki unfortunately couldn't be with me to make this video. She's on a conference call downstairs at the moment, but she's building up all the stock in her eBay shop ready for Christmas. She's selling incense and candles and ethical goods, environmentally friendly goods, all that sort of thing. Some nice gift sort of packages in amongst her stock there as well. So be sure to check out her eBay shop. There's a link for that in the description below as well. And you might find some good stuff on there to order for your friends and family and stuff for birthdays, Christmas, anniversaries, that sort of thing. So yeah, bit of a plug there for Nikki's shop. Be sure to have a bit of a look at that. Now, a highlight of the summer for me is always the National Association of Mining History Organisations annual conference. And I did take some footage at this year's conference, but didn't really get enough coherent footage to make a dedicated video. So let's have a quick look at a bit of a summary of this year's mining conference. Well, hello again everybody. I've got all the car packed up and I'm ready to head off to the National Association of Mine History Organisations annual conference. This year it's up in the Lake District. I'm not taking the motorhome, I'm taking Nikki's car so that I can camp and use the car to get around the various meeting points of the conference. It's just a bit easier. Well, the mining conference is always a highlight of the year, something I always look forward to, and one of the features of it is the campsite. Every year it's in a different region, and of course a different campsite is arranged. This year is a lovely campsite right by the river near Ambleside, and although the weather wasn't always the best. It was great fun to get the old tent out again and have a bit of a camping session, a bit of a camping weekend up in the Lake District. Now the conference consists of lectures and also field trips, as well as all the usual things like conference meals and stuff, which are usually absolutely fantastic. But for me the highlight really is the field trips, and went on a great field trip into this old tungsten mine. There were lots of remains of ore chutes and ore hoppers coming down, and lots of mineralisation in the mines. We were fortunate enough to be accompanied by a geologist who spent quite a long time explaining the geology of the rocks and the different metal ores that were present to us. And yeah, that was great. Made for some slow movement through the mine, but that didn't really matter. We got to see quite a lot of it, and yeah, fantastic to see those remains, although it was a bit of a drive to it. We also had a surface trip to the Force Crag Mine Mill, which is owned by the National Trust, and the National Trust were kind enough to take us up there in their Land Rovers, and we had a guided tour of the remains of the mill. And when I say remains, it's almost completely intact. It's not far off really being able to be fired up and got going again. So yeah, there's some fantastic things to see. They could take you through the whole process of milling the ore, right from taking it out of the ground through to processing it into a saleable sort of product. So yeah, absolutely fantastic to see that, and to be taken through it by a former mining engineer. On the Sunday, we had a full day's tour of some old copper mines. And this was over quite an area up in the mountains, and the copper mines spanned from Elizabethan workings right up to Victorian workings. Well, actually, some of the workings were supposedly pre-Elizabethan, right back to sort of medieval times. So yeah, fascinating to see that. We got quite a bit of underground exploration in, went into various different levels. We saw the remains of an almost intact balance bob, and also some timber pump rods which were still present in the shaft, hanging in the shaft. And some splendid mineralisation in parts, the lovely blue of the copper ores showing in the rock and in the water where it had leached out of the sides of the mine. So absolutely fantastic to see all that and to be shown around it by local people with local knowledge of the mines. So yeah, very, very much enjoyed this year's mining conference, and very much looking forward to next year's, hopefully. And of course, a firm favourite of mine is the Viewers Vehicles little segment that we do, and got some fantastic ones for you this month. Jeff and Helen have sent a photo in of their motorhome. Jeff has had quite a bit of work done on the old Talbot this year. He's got some new CV joints and that sort of thing in there, and he's hoping to be able to make a bit more use of it this year and get away in the summer. So we're looking forward to seeing what Jeff and Helen get up to and where they head to in their van. George from the George and Jane channel has sent me a picture of this moped. Now, this moped was going to be taken to the dump, but George rescued it and completely restored it. It looks like he's made an absolutely fantastic job of it. So well done there, George. I wonder if there's going to be maybe a video on that at some point, if you've still got some footage of it. That would be marvellous. And finally, let's have a bit of a look at the weight loss and fitness charts. Now, as usual, progress is a bit disappointing on this. I must admit, I just haven't had the opportunity to go for as many hikes and walks as I'd like. Did have some good times and some good efforts while we were away in the motorhome on some of our longer breaks, like the one down to Cornwall. We did walk a lot, but yeah, overall progress hasn't been great on this, and yeah, sorry about that. Seems like it's the same old story every month, but we will press on, and eventually we will have some sort of success, I'm sure.